You said you wanted to some fries?
Yeah, probably.
Be easier. Hold these.
The sacred texts.
Yeah. Right then, I'm gonna bump it up one brightness. So that we can live. So, from Not First We Feast, I'm not Sean Evans.
And I am nobody famous.
And I am nobody.
Wrong.
Anyway. PDA! Are these still warm?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Okay. So we have Hot Ones Closet Edition number 2. And we have a new closet. We have a new place.
We have a new closet and a safer space.
Yes. And it's our own closet this time. Next time, it'll be...
I mean, who knows?
Maybe under a bridge. I don't know.
A closet under a bridge. Sounds like a place for me.
It's Harry Potter-ish. Anyway. Ew! J.K. Rowling? No. Fuck no. Anyway. Yeah, we've got our own closet this time. With things in it. And we have food and hot sauce. And that's what matters. We have chicken, milk. We have oat milk this time.
We had some last time.
No, we had almond milk, I think.
You're right. Yeah.
So we're gonna see how oat milk does. Woo! That's wet. Condensation. Alright, so we're gonna try a few different sauces. We're gonna do a salsa and 4 of the sauces from Hot Ones with some chicken. So we're gonna start off really easy today. Did I bring my phone? Yes. For the questions. Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Wait then. So we have to kind of start off easy. Well, we don't have to. We don't have to start off easy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're gonna start with a salsa. Thank you. And it's Sadie's of New Mexico. Delicioso. Salsa with the hot version. I'm not sure what salsa we did last time, but that was really good. Do you remember?
I do.
Smell this. It smells delicious. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we're gonna... Let me pick a question. Do you have your question?
Yeah.
Is it about relationships or not?
Not really.
Okay. So you can ask yours first. So we will try a chip with this one because salsa is always better with a chip. What the? Come on then. There we go. So that's usually fair for me, even when it's not like a spicy salsa. So we'll dink it and sink it. Is that copyright? Infringement? Mmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mmm. Mmm.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, that's actually really delicious. I'm gonna go for seconds.
Yes.
Ooh. That's really good. So before you ask your question, we'll go again.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Mmm. Wow, that's really good.
It is.
Okay. Oh. Okay, so what's your question?
You've said before that Hercules is probably your favorite Disney movie,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to ask you what it is about it that makes it your favorite.
So... besides, like, the nostalgia factor of it, it's one of my favorite stories. Like, there's a lot of, like, mythicality in Disney movies. There's a lot of, like, fantasy, but for Hercules, it's, like, one of the more inspiring it's more inspiring for me.
Hmm.
Like, it's one of the ones that makes me cry the easiest because it's the most, even though it's literally like mythology, it's more realistic to me.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
I think so. I have a similar feeling about my favorite, Hunchback.
That one gets me.
Because although that one does have like magic or supernatural or divine stuff in the story, it feels like it's not as much of a direct force, just kind of a ambience in the background, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I also feel like the the story development and the character development is a lot more prevalent in Hercules than a lot of the other more like mainstream Disney movies.
Yeah.
Where it kind of gets stuck for a long time. It's like a third of the movie. Whereas Hercules it's like a whole progression story. Where he progresses like the entire movie. He gets stuck like here and there. But like as far as I remember, he was very... He learned a lot. And that's what I want to do. I want to learn and get better. That wasn't a fart.
Okay. It wasn't. It was the chair.
Fur. I liked that salsa. Wow. That's a good salsa. Alright, so it's Sadie's? Is that what it says?
Mm-hmm. Sadie's of New Mexico.
I like that. So because we're still on the first sauce, I'm gonna not be mean.
I feel like first couple questions are just supposed to be fun stuff. In the middle, you get the heavy stuff. And then with the really hot stuff, you go for more zany, fun questions.
Yeah. So this is kind of interpretive as to that scale. But I'm going to ask you anyway. Because I think it might be okay. And this might take you a second to think of.
Okay.
What is your favorite childhood memory? Do you mind if I go one more brightness?
If you want to, you can.
I'm going to do one more.
My favorite childhood memories are probably spending time with Han, visiting him and being kids together. I used to watch him play Wind Waker. He didn't have it for very long. He had it on rent. And there was one visit in particular where when he went to put the disc away in its box, he kind of fumbled and the disc fell behind his dresser, which was a big dresser, and there was a bunch of stuff on it, and there was no way that we could reach back there. And so we, at the age of 9 or 10, were trying to struggle to find a way to move stuff off of the dresser and out of the dresser and move the dresser to retrieve the game without making too much commotion or taking too much time or breaking anything. And I miss the excitement of going over to see him and
just like having a place separate from home.
Yeah, and I think a big part of it is that I miss how not carefree, but more carefree he was then. Because now, so often when I see him, he's just super busy and he can't just let go and be fun in the moment as much as he could then, I think.
Mm-hmm.
At least from what I see when I see him, which I don't see much of him anymore. So.
I feel the same way.
So yeah, I'd have to say going to visit him and play together.
Yeah. I don't know what mine is. My favorite childhood memory. Hmm. Kind of like you, like I don't have a singular memory. It's more like going to my neighbor's house, Cassie's, or watching my sister play video games, my brother play video games, or even my parents playing video games. Like, I never really played them myself, but it was still like very special to me because it was just like a time to relax. I didn't have to think or feel or anything.
Yeah.
And with my neighbor, like every time I went to her house, it was just so much like laughing, and I needed the laughs so badly, and I needed the friendship, which like you, like it's really hard to feel now, except with each other. Like you're my best friend, so as an adult, it's really hard to feel real.
Fun.
Yeah.
Like unrestricted.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of my favorite memories, because I have such a weird like memory problem. A lot of my favorite memories have always been like beloved memories from my family videos. Like I know every family video by heart. So one of my favorite memories, I think we'll do this one first and then the special one. One of my favorite memories is my dad recording me and my sister out in our big backyard when her and I like raked a bunch of leaves, because we used to have oleanders and trees and everything like that, but our next door neighbor had this big huge tree that they made into a tree house, and during the fall the leaves they would all like cascade onto our yard. So we both raked these leaves up into a pile because we always wanted to like jump into a pile of leaves because that's like storybook fun. And we did that, and then we sat we sat, and this part wasn't recorded, but I remember like we sat in the pile after that, and we covered our bodies, like our legs and our feet, and we laid down, and we just like looked into the sky. And
So you two were just two little children faces in a pile of leaves looking up at the sky?
yeah, and then our arms, because this part was caught on tape because we were already in the pile of leaves laying down. My dad came, like, probably saw us and was like, oh, I gotta catch this on film or something, because this is like the first time I've ever seen them, you know, having fun like that in a pile of leaves, because we didn't often do that. And we were probably I was probably 6 and she was probably like 7 or something like that. And my dad like grabbed the camera real quick, ran out into the Arizona room, which had the screen, so we couldn't see him film us, but he could see us, so he filmed. And he went outside the the Arizona room screen, and like he, like, we were all we were pointing into the sky, like looking at clouds, and we're like, oh, look at that one, like look at that, like what about that bird, or whatever we were saying at the time. And we didn't notice our dad like filming us. And then when we did, we were like, ah, and we sat up and we're like, hey! That might be like one of my more like treasured childhood memories. For some reason, there's something about that time of like soap opera innocence, like where a lot of people would want to experience, like jumping into a pile of leaves, or like laying in a pile of leaves and clap watching. Yeah. And I never thought I would have that experience, and I did. And it was like with my best friend. So like that's always been really special to me. Yeah. And it was caught on film, so I'm always gonna remember it no matter what went on up here. Anyway, let's move on to chicken. Here.
So I feel like we should... Thank you. Mm-hmm. I feel like we should use bigger pieces of chicken for this. Mm-hmm. Because we'll probably have larger portions with this.
Yeah.
Are you okay if I break up these big pieces into like halves?
Mm-hmm.
Or thirds?
Oh yeah. So we're doing the classic Hot Ones hot sauce. I'm pretty sure this was the original one was the one that I tried. But I can't remember. I'm so bad.
You what?
I'm so bad. Hey, what? So this isn't part of the Hot Ones, like the chicken questions, but I do want to ask you, what rating would you give your current job on a scale of 1 to 10? Which, personally, I actually just burped. Oh, I meant to grab the Pepto. I feel like it's a good question.
I would say a 6 or a 7.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. It's not all that often that I have a bad day at work. There's perks of working there.
I'm gonna grab Pepto. You can keep talking because I'll hear you.
Um,
I'm sorry, camera. I'm sorry.
we get food.
Mm-hmm.
It's close. It's kind of relaxed. Except when it's not, but that's not too often. My biggest problems with it right now are just how much time it takes up because it's, and you know, this, how good I had it before with my work schedule and having a stay-at-home job shows when I talk about this, because I'm talking about just, you know, like a regular 5-day, 40-hour week as if it's a huge constraint on time. And it's relative, and I'm sure that, you know, a bunch of people out there would be like, oh, you think that takes up that much time? And, you know, everybody's perspectives are different, but I've been doing it for about a year now, and I really miss my stay-at-home job. I really miss being able to draft my own schedule.
Yeah.
And I really hope that we are able to, or at least, I'm sorry that it doesn't seem you'll be able to also, but
I understand.
to do 4 10-hour shifts instead of 5 8-hour shifts.
Yeah.
And some days it's hard. Seeing our residents in the state that they're in, seeing them get older and lose their faculties and get confused and angry and just stop being the person that they used to be.
Like we are now, like we might get like that.
Yeah.
It's hard. Really hard. Okay. So that was kind of a cheat question because I have so many questions. I want to like still ask them. I would rate my job, because we're lucky and we work at the same place, but we do different things. I would rate my job
And we're not paid enough. Just so we're clear.
True.
There's not much that I can do about it, but
you're not wrong at all. I would rate it like a 7 or 8. I think there's still a lot of adjustment that I need to do within myself before I feel like comfortable with it completely. But so I run like activities for everyone, like a bunch of disabled old people that need something to live for. A lot of them don't have like families that will do anything for them, and even the ones that do, they don't always understand. So I had the luck that I was already acquainted with these residents before I switched job positions. But even then, even then there's a lot of new people that I don't know. They don't know me. It's still a lot. Like, every day is up or down, up or down. Every day and even then, like, I have several activities going on every single day. So I'll have something in the morning, something in the middle of the day, something at the end of the day. And it's always hit or miss whether or not people are like, it's too close to lunchtime, or it's just after lunch, or it's too close to dinner. And it's like, really hit or miss. It's truly hit or miss. And I'm trying to forgive myself for that, because I have like such high expectations of myself, where I'm like, I should have like a full house every time, every day. But I know that's not possible. So I have to forgive myself. And that's not always easy.
No
but
way.
I'm learning. Way. So yeah, like 7 or 8, because I'm enjoying it, and people see like such a mood change from my previous job position. Look at that. Take a smell. That smells garlicky already.
Do you want to choose your piece?
Yeah, I'll do this one. Ooh. I'll try. Alright, so now we're trying the classic. The classic hot sauce. Oh, but I need to... Oh, should you ask the next question? Or should I? Because that wasn't like an official Hot Ones question. Whatever you want. We need a question. Oh my god, I forgot how good that is. Keep the cap off.
Okay.
Oh my god. Oh no. I dropped a crumb.
I'm gonna put the lid back on the salsa before someone gets hurt.
Ooh. Oh, that is so good.
That's very good.
Oh, that is so delicious.
So, this is a bit of a faster escalation in the depth and weight of the questions than I intended, but does living with me actually feel different than living with your ex? And if so, how?
That's actually a really great question. Yes is the main answer, but I will elaborate. God, that is so good. You should have more of that. So it feels different. Yes. It is different. Yes. I think a main difference is because so we lived together before with a very toxic person who is very toxic. We didn't have like a healthy, like together living situation at that time. But even then, it still felt more fitting. Like, I felt like I didn't need to go back to my parents. I didn't need to feel like I had to run away. Except for when I fought with that person. It's his mom. I'm just gonna say it.
There were a couple times we fought to the point where we needed space, and the only way that you could get it was by going to your parents.
I really never did that, though.
It was once or twice.
It's good. I'm thankful that I had that. A lot of people don't. Like you.
True.
So, after we removed ourselves from that environment, we were apart again. After a long time.
Living apart, not broken up.
Yeah. Like, we were together. We were apart. Living apart. Which was hard for us.
Not by choice.
Yeah.
By necessity.
And this is like the most recognizable Skyrim song.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's gonna know.
Well,
am I gonna get copyright striked?
We're not making money off of this, so I doubt it. And this is like the most recognizable chill Skyrim music.
So we were living apart for a long time.
So now that we're here,
we finally have a place of our own. And that's a huge difference. Like, we've seen a huge difference in our relationship. We've seen a huge difference in our relationship to our friends and family and like our workspace. I'm a lot more distant to my family than I want to be because I'm tired. I'm still trying to settle in here, I feel like. And to be honest, honest. I'm just really tired. And I feel guilty like every day. Every day I feel like more guilty. And then that guilt creates more anxiety. And then that anxiety is like, what are you gonna say? And then if you say anything, is that gonna make it worse? So it's hard to like solve that problem. So yes, it feels better to live with you than my ex because it feels more welcoming and warm, genuine. Like we have, like it feels like us. It doesn't feel like I'm just a part of something that. I'm not sure how to like word that. But it feels like I'm actually contributing to the household that I want to have with you because you're my partner. And I want to be a partner and not like an accessory or something that doesn't matter as much. Or someone that doesn't matter as much. But, yeah. It feels different. But, like, in a good way. Also, there's a lot of things that I can't say on film that I would give as a reason. I want more of this. This is so good.
Do you have your next question for me?
You haven't answered the question.
Do I like living with you better than I like living with my ex?
Your mother?
Yes, I like dating you a lot better than I like dating my mom.
You never dated her, I'm just saying.
You made it sound like I
I
did.
know. You know what I mean?
Well, yes. This is very different. I can make decisions without it having to be a fight every time.
Yeah.
I love you.
Try not to cry challenge. That is fucking delicious.
And not hot at all.
No. Like, I could eat that for hours.
The salsa was way hotter.
Yeah, the salsa was definitely hotter. Well, that happened. Oops. And we have oat milk this time. Because regular milk, people be drinking regular milk for spice. Like it's gonna make a fucking difference. No. No, it ain't. It soothes it for like half a second. You okay? Oh my god. That's good. Tastes like oats. Right. And then we have the Hot Ones Classic, but the garlic Fresno edition. I love garlic.
I love you.
I love you too.
And I love
This next question that I have.
Is it a similar escalation?
No.
I'm sorry.
It just might take a while. So I'm going to ask it now before we have.
Okay.
Because you might need a second. And I might need a second. What is... So the question is, what is your top 10 moments of our relationship? I could dumb it down to top 5. But that's also very hard.
I don't feel like it's very romantic to count to 10 while you're naming off memories.
Garlicky. I want this piece.
There's a lot.
Yes.
There's our first date.
Which was what?
I came to an awards ceremony night from for the drama club after school hours, and we had an interesting exchange at the end of the night when it was time to part ways. I'm not sure how much detail you want me to go into about that.
Go ahead. You can pour your hot sauce though, and we can bite it.
So,
That's delicious.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we were in high school. Dating? Yeah.
I don't know if it was official at that point yet. I think it was.
I think it was. It was after our first kiss, right?
Mm-hmm.
So technically, we
I
were
think
dating. So we were in high school. This was like 13 years ago.
12? This was 2011 or 2012.
So it was 2011 because I wasn't a senior.
Right, we were juniors.
Yeah.
And by the time the award ceremony was over and people were leaving, and I think we left after most other people did, it was dark out. And we both lived about, well, I lived about a mile away, and you lived about 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 2.5.
It was like 3.5 actually. The Avenue de Guillermo. I wasn't supposed to say that.
Let's see. Let's find out. So, you lived a ways away.
Mm-hmm.
It was a walk that would have taken approximately an hour, maybe not quite an hour, but close enough.
Mm-hmm.
It was dark out. You were wearing this cute little dress, and you weighed like 90 pounds at the time.
When I was a junior, I was about 95 pounds.
Yeah. And I had been under the impression that at the end of the night, somebody would be there to pick you up to take you home. And I seem to remember you trying to coax me to just leave and go home without seeing you off.
Mm-hmm.
And I refused.
Mm-hmm.
Because, no.
It was dark and...
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to make sure that you got home. I didn't know where you lived yet.
Mm-hmm.
I had never been to your place, so I didn't understand exactly how far it was. But regardless, I knew it was far enough and that you shouldn't be walking, especially this late. And we stood on the sidewalk in front of the school and basically had a strange, not super confrontational, but stubborn.
Like, it wasn't an argument, but it was like a...
It wasn't an...
It was.
It wasn't. We didn't get heated with each other. We were just both really stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were both really stubborn, and I was really creeped out by how much you were trying to convince me to just let you walk off into the night alone. You had this crazed look in your eye. And
I was kind of crazy.
And I was worried about you.
Yeah.
Eventually, we reached our positions of... Well, I'm not sure what position you would say you had at the time, but I remember basically telling you, I'm not going anywhere until we either walk together to your place and I see you get into your house, or I see your family pick you up or something. And for a while you tried to just be like, well, I guess we're just going to stand here then, I think. Because I remember calling my mother and explaining that I was going to be a while longer than I anticipated because... Well, I don't remember what details I told her, but I summed it up with, I'm trying to make sure she gets home safe.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, I feel like it was about half an hour or so.
It sounds about right.
You relented and we called your mother and she came to pick you up.
Yeah, what a first date, am I right?
Well, it was exciting and it was strange, and I was glad that I got to do something for you, even if that thing was keep you from being so silly. There's the date that we had on my 18th birthday, which was the first day I was able to have this right, and it was the first day that I exercised it because I ended up having to leave the house without permission to go and see you at Mama's.
Mama's Pizza. I didn't even work there yet.
It was always special seeing you there. So there's our first date, strange as it was. There was any time that we've been to Mama's. going up the mountain with you to bury your pet.
There was a time that you literally came back from boot camp.
I don't
Or
look,
not boot camp, but
boot camp. Yeah. I don't look back with as much fondness on that because it was very brief and seeing you was very bittersweet for me at the time.
also I was very busy.
And I'm really disappointed in myself at around that time. I mean, I'm disappointed in myself in general, but especially then.
Yeah. Your 18th birthday. Really great memory. I have to itch my eye. I gotta be careful around my eyes.
No way, man.
Yeah. These two are not hot, but wow. And this one is very garlicky.
And sweet. It
Yeah.
reminds me of a garlic salsa that I used to get from Fry's, or not garlic, but sweet onion or something. Very good, but not hot.
What's number 3?
Well, I've named 3 or 4 by now, but there's any of the times that we went to Mama's, when we've gone up the mountain, our first date, any of our hotel stays. Each time that we went to the hotel together, we'd been apart for a long time, and we really needed time together.
Yeah.
In a space where we had privacy and quiet.
Yeah.
There were the times when you still had your car, just, I think, grocery shopping with you for the first time, or anytime really. I really enjoy that. I enjoyed watching you. I enjoyed watching you drive. You were so pretty, and you looked so relaxed. Times we went to the park and had a picnic, or just parked somewhere and talked. Our first kiss.
He asked permission.
I had to.
The first time was in high school, and it just kind of happened, kind of mutually. That one was kind of magical.
After that, I understand that it's not just something that movies made up, the feeling of time slowing down and the world spinning. Everything in the background just kind of fading out.
And we were literally in high school, and it was passing period.
Mm-hmm.
So the hallways were like buzzing.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was like we were the only ones there.
I was so distraught. Like, I was depressed and anxious. And I hugged you. And just like the feeling of like being against your chest and like under your chin. And I don't know, it had to happen. And it was just like we both kind of mutually did it. And it was literally like the movie camera like panning around us.
Mm-hmm.
And everything in the background like going away. And that's crazy. But then our second first
There was
kiss,
so much tension.
We were both. So it was like, how many years later? Fuck. Um,
8. 8 years.
it was 84 years.
There was so much tension, and we were both so nervous. We were getting closer after your breakup with your ex, and
Yeah.
it felt like it was going to happen, and I didn't want to make the first move because I didn't want to presume. I didn't want to upset you. I didn't want to start something that we weren't ready for. But we were just sitting there staring at each other. I think
I was kind of like shaking.
I think it'd be fair to say we were literally getting lost in each other's eyes.
Yeah.
Just kind
of. Not like that, but kind of.
I think it was.
No, we weren't like.
Well, not literally this close, but we were. Like, we were sitting next to each other, leaning in a bit, and just.
Try not to cry challenge.
And I don't know, something just happened and I couldn't take it anymore. I needed to know if it was okay. And I asked if I could kiss you.
I don't even remember my like exact answer. Sorry.
Neither do I.
I don't remember if I was like yes or like yes please or like of course or something like that. But I remember being very approving.
Laying in the driveway with you, looking up at the stars. The Christmas that we spent at your parents'.
Yeah. Mine is probably both of our first kisses because there were so many years apart. The collective like phone calls with you. The
Any NSFW stuff in there?
Oh, plenty. That I cannot include and will not. But like SFW. I think all the times that we've had meals together is like some of my favorite memories. And that's kind of like all of these are kind of like blanket.
Yeah.
Because
our movie marathons together.
Yeah, like how can you choose one memory?
Yeah.
God, it's like impossible. I think shopping at Ross with you is one of my more favorite memories. That smells like it belongs on a fucking burrito.
It does.
That smells delicious. Go heat up a burrito. getting this apartment together.
Yeah.
Probably one of the craziest memories. Because we just went from nothing to this. Because we just went for it. With, like, complete, I guess you could call it faith.
Getting this apartment felt a lot like the sensation of it falling out of the sky and into my lap. It reminds me of how I felt when we got back together. We had been apart for so long, and I was so used to being alone, and poof, here you are.
This is Los Calientes. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
The Verde edition. Burrito.
Mm-hmm.
Needs burrito.
Also kind of sweet.
It's got like that tiny, tiny little kick. Alright. Your turn for a question. You know what else? Our date to the Reptile Expo.
I was gonna mention that.
That day was one of my favorite days.
This next one is gonna be, now that I realize the only challenging one that we're gonna have here is the last dab. Well, I should save that one for the last dab.
No, go ahead. And do whatever. It's still such a good collection. I'm not even doing this because it's spicy. I just really want oat milk. Ow.
9:36.
Dope. What did I say, babe? Did you like this one?
Yeah.
It's really good. The next one is quite the step up, though.
Yeah. think you should ask another one while I'm looking.
Okay. Wait. Ah, what? So, let me see. What's been the most challenging time during our relationship?
I would say the period just before we had to start living apart and just after we started living apart.
Yeah. Like when we were living at Leslie's and then when we just split off.
Yeah. I would say it was like a 6-month period of like 3 months before you left and the 3 months after you left.
Yeah. How come?
The intensity of the fights that we had, things we said and did during those fights, how afraid we were, how hurt we were. I was pretty sure you were going to leave me, and I thought you should. And sometimes I still do think you should. But I felt much stronger about it then.
We have a lot of trauma to work through.
It sounds like you agree with that time period.
I would say it was like in the few months before we split off. And that's just like my perspective of it. Like, I think it was harder on me and for me. And I think it was harder for us when we still lived at her house. Like,
Yeah.
the most toxic place I've ever been in my life. That made us just completely different people.
I wouldn't agree that I was a different person, but
I see a big difference in you personally. I think a lot of people do, but it's probably not that big of a difference in yourself because you still have a lot to work through.
yeah, I only
so do
have
I.
my perspective, and things are capable of going over my head or under my nose. I actually think the salsa is hotter than any of the first 3 hot sauces.
It is. I didn't expect it.
Me neither. They say that the hotness of this Los Calientes Verde is 5 out of 10, and I call BS. I say it's just like the first 2, and it says they're 2 out of 10 on the scale.
Like I said, the Scoville unit scale is not really about hotness, because this is technically hotter than Da Bomb.
But it's not, though.
But it ain't. So this is the hottest one we're trying tonight, especially because it's so late. And this is the Last Dab, from Hot Ones, Apollo edition, made with the Apollo pepper. This one is a 10 out of 10 on the heat level. The Last Dab Apollo is the world's only hot sauce made with the Apollo pepper.
That doesn't sound like something to brag about.
The new hottest pepper from Guinness World Record holding chili breeder, Smokin' Ed Curry. Curry, not spelled like curry. Like the food. The Apollo pepper channels the sun's energy to bring new levels of flavor and heat to the world of super hots. Live the Hot Ones tradition.
The question that I was supposed to ask you when we were still on that I chose was, is life about what you expected? Is your adult life or life in the real world about what you expected when you were little?
No.
Or have you been totally taken off guard?
I am like not anywhere near what I thought adulthood would be like. When I was little, I expected adulthood to feel natural and I expected it to feel like I would know what I was doing more than I did when I was little. I expected myself to feel like I had it together. And none of that has ever happened. None of it. And I'm not the only one. Just about everyone I know that is my age, that is about 30 years old, is like, no. It ain't that, honey. No. It's completely, it's fucked up. It's unpredictable. It's messy. It's traumatic in a lot of ways. And especially in the world that we live in now. We're not taught to adapt to the environment that we're in now. So we just have to wing it.
I agree and disagree. Mm-hmm. In some ways it's about what I expected, and in some ways it's not. It probably depends on how, like, at what stage of my childhood or teen years you would ask me what I expected it to be like. Sometimes I expected things would be, kind of smooth, like I'd be prepared, like I would, grow and be ready for what I was going to need to do. And other times I was like, I think it's just always going to be bullshit. And so spoilers, I was not ready. I was not prepared. I was not trained. The things that have been thrown at me I've stumbled. I've fallen. I've got my face in the mud and made a fool of myself, and I don't know what you would call a recovery, but I don't know when or if I'll feel like I've recovered from it. I got a late start, and I can feel all kinds of different ways about it. But so the periods of time where I was like, no, I think it's just always going to be shit. I think I'm on my own, and this is going to be painful, is in a lot of ways, in more ways than not, true. I'm now almost 30 years old, and I don't know what I know. I still can't believe that this is the first apartment that I've ever lived in an official capacity. It's the first time my name has been on a lease. It's the first time that I've been part of a transaction that's ongoing that's going to affect my credit. It's,
You're not under an abuser's finger. Or are you? That's really not okay to say. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
No.
It is.
That's messed up.
You made a joke, and jokes are okay.
I just try to make light of the situation, and I don't like myself, so I try to paint myself as a bad person, and then it just makes me sound like a bad person. I apologize.
Well, dark humor is how we cope.
I know.
So I say you don't need to apologize.
So what's the bravest thing you've ever done?
It probably, depending on what you mean by bravery, there was a time when I was 17 or 18. I was dumpster diving, and this drunk, probably high, big vet dude who was at a party across the street noticed me going through a dumpster on the other side of the street and came over and started talking to me, asking me what I was doing, being pretty nosy, little like trying to make me uncomfortable, trying to intimidate me. And it worked in that I was afraid. His friends came over to try and supervise him, keep him from doing something dumb. Learned from them that he was a vet, and he was pretty messed up by what he had seen in Iraq. They asked me to kind of not take what he says too personally, not to judge him too harshly.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically he got it into his head that if I'm here dumpster diving, I must know, some like underground type stuff going on in the neighborhood, and he wanted to know where he could get drugs. I don't remember if he asked about coke or meth specifically. I don't know if he used a proper name or if he just talked about dope or smack or whatever. But he asked me where he could find some, and I told him that I wouldn't know, and he was like, "You're full of shit." And I didn't really budge about it, and it was a really strange experience. We both just kind of stood there, mostly still for the whole time. We didn't turn and face different directions. We didn't chase distances. It was kind of like a stare down, and a really weird conversation. Him just trying to pry something out of me, and me telling him that there was nothing there. Eventually, he got to the point where he threatened to go and get his gun from his car and shoot me. And I was trying to prepare myself for what might have turned into a crazy fight or something. And nothing like that happened. His buddies kind of eventually got his attention off of me. Maybe because he didn't get the kind of reaction out of me that he wanted to.
Right.
I don't know. But, like, in terms of, like, physical bravery, I would, like, that one kind of jumps out at me as a time that maybe it would have been reasonable to show a bit more fear, and I was afraid. fuck, is this asshole really about to kill me?
Well, bravery's not about that.
Well, what
Like,
basically what I was taught is that bravery is doing something even though you're scared.
mhm.
And I didn't really do anything in that situation other than stand my ground. And
It was a lot. That's scary. I remember you telling me about that.
I'm not sure about emotional bravery. There was, I didn't really have a choice, but there was in recent times, the time that I was homeless, and I had to, I had help, but in a way that I hadn't before. I had to make my own way. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I think physically, there are many times that I had to be brave. Like, too brave. But oh, careful. Whoa, dude. Let me smell.
It doesn't smell like anything crazy, does it?
I feel like it singed my nose hairs. You can snort that stuff. That smells good. I feel like physically I can't talk about the things that I've been brave about. But I know that I've been brave physically. So there's that. Emotionally, or like mentally, I feel like the bravest I ever was there's been like multiple points in my life but trigger warning, there's trauma. I feel like the more like I feel like the more hardcore emotional bravery I had to demonstrate is it's like SFW to say. Was probably like a good example would be leaving the house that I lived with my ex when things blew up.
I think I know what you're talking about. when he blew up at you and basically told you to get out, and
I was very dependent. I was a very dependent person. Not that I couldn't have been independent, I just wasn't. Like, I chose not to be. I didn't have to be at the time. Or I didn't feel that I had to be. And one of the more scary moments in my life was him saying, "No, I don't want to hear it. Pack your bags. Get out."
probably expecting you to beg or
I don't know.
something.
And it doesn't matter.
Right.
I don't know. I was very confused. I was like, why aren't we talking about this? Like, you don't know the whole story, and he kind of he doesn't want to hear it kind of thing. So it was just a whole, like, get out. I don't want to hear it. Pack, you're out of here. And I could have completely blown up. I could have had the reaction he probably expected me to. And I just stopped. Like, I just stopped. And I was like, he's going. Like, he's going. I'm gonna go. And that was one of the first big mature decisions I had made. Was, no matter how I feel right now, no matter how much I protest this reasoning or lack thereof, I'm gonna go. And whatever happens. Called my parents, called my mom, and I was like, hey, memento mori.
Memento mori.
Can I come over? She was like, come over. And I fucking packed my bags. I would have never done that. I would have been so dependent and immature. I would have begged and pleaded and dragged myself on the floor, made a huge scene. I would have, like, lost it completely. But there was just something about it that I was like, this is meant to be. And this might be too much to share. But that's the whole of it, is that I never thought I would be that independent that I would be able to say, alright, fine, I will pack my bag. The only bag that I have. And I'm gonna go. And I wasn't there when he came back. So that's one thing I could say that made me feel, for one of the first times in my adult life, because I spent most of my adult life there, or not most of my adult life, but like, that period of time.
Yeah.
In my early adulthood, it was one of the first times that I was able to say, this is on my decision. And it was. And there was a lot of feelings involved. Like, 7 years is not easy to get over. I had to do it because it wasn't right. So I did. And who was my best friend through all of that? For 15 years? You. Yeah. Alright, let's die.
Choose your weapon.
I have this. Wait, I feel like I should pre-choose a question because I'm gonna be messed up. Do you think we'll always be friends?
Yes.
No matter what happens?
Well, you know what, actually, I have a very real fear and feeling that eventually you will agree with the part of me that says that I'm not good and that you don't need me and that you can and should do better, or that we'll get into a fight about something where you will decide that it's the last straw and you don't want to see me anymore. And it probably, if something like that happens, I think it's fair to say that we wouldn't really be friends anymore. But I would still love you. So, I guess I should, if I'm being honest, kind of change my answer to I hope we'll always be friends. But I do have a very real fear that we won't be. But I will always love you. I'm sorry.
No reason. I know how you feel. Next question. Does anything keep you up at night? If so, what? Do you want to answer that?
Frustration with how soon I have to be up. Things that I wanted to get done before I went to sleep. Like, fuck, I didn't do this chore. The laundry is still in the washer. It needs to be in the dryer at the very least, if not folded or hung up. I was supposed to clean this. I wanted to do this in a game that I'm playing.
Expectations of yourself.
Yeah. And frustration with, like, do I really want to get 2 hours of sleep, or should I just pull an all-nighter and be be a miserable person for the day and then fall asleep after work or whatever it is that I need to get done. Sometimes thinking about some big fights that I've got in my near future
Like in life.
Yeah.
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 I see. It's got like a thickness around the butthole. It's got a red rim.
Choose your weapon. Does that one have a bit of sauce on it from earlier?
No. No.
Maybe a bit of the classic stuff?
No, I don't think so. Smells like the school lunchroom. Smell it?
Mm-hmm.
School lunchroom. You do yours first. I'm scared.
Get it.
I'm not doing that much.
Nor
I'm
should
not
you.
doing that much. Oh, I forgot to pick like a. What's the first thing you do in the morning and how to.
Go on.
How does it impact the rest of your day? What's the first thing you do in the morning and how does it impact the rest of your day?
I go to the bathroom, get dressed, grab some breakfast if I can, walk to work. It impacts the rest of my day by me being at work so that I can make money. So that we can stay here.
You know what I think the first thing you do every morning is? Snuggle me. In some way.
Accurate.
How does that impact the rest of your day?
Makes it worth it.
Money. I'm not okay with this. Okay, hold on. Hold up. Alright. I have one. Wait. Who should ask next?
My question is for after this is in our mouths.
Okay, so I should ask it?
Yeah.
What would you want to eat for your last meal?
Well, it would depend.
I'm scared of this.
It would depend on, like, why do I know that it's my last meal? Do I know how I'm dying? Do I know when?
It doesn't matter.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes,
you know you're
it
gonna
does.
die. Doesn't matter by electric chair or injection or cancer. If you were to have one last meal of your life, what would it be?
Pumpkin pie.
I knew it!
I bet you did.
Oh my god, I wasn't sure if you would say that. Pumpkin pie, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's your whole meal? With a side of what? Like...
Some kind of fruit juice. Maybe some milk.
Mm-hmm. Chalky milk.
That sounds like me.
Mm-hmm. think I would want like a slice of really hot pizza with tons of cheese and a super cheesy burrito with hot sauce.
Sounds like you.
I'm not okay with this. I'm so not okay with this. Good luck. Mm-mm. I don't like it. Mm-mm. 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 Uh-uh. I hate it.
Oh yeah.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I like it. What's yours?
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes.
Is cereal soup?
Yes.
Bears or bulls?
What?
The bears or the bulls? Woo!
Duh, bears.
Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Team Carlisle.
I don't remember who that is.
The father.
You ship Bella and the father?
Mm-mm.
The son?
Me and the father.
The Holy Ghost?
Go away. Oh, it still burns.
You wanna know something weird?
Mm-hmm. Hurry up. Ow! Ow.
I think my tolerance has gone up.
Mm-hmm. Not I. Ow. Well, if we had the bomb. You shouldn't have left that.
At Leslie's? I should have put it in her salsa.
Hmm. Ow.
You wanna know what's interesting?
Mm.
Even just a little bit of the last dab on my finger, like just me doing that and swiping my tongue with it, that was way hotter than the full bite with like the little puddle of it that I had.
And milk all over my arm, bro. You see it? Was that your questions?
It was all I had prepared at the time.
Seemed easy.
I was taken off guard by how quickly you answered them. They were supposed to piss you off.
They were easy. Ugh. Oh no! I need to be careful around my eyes. Oh my god! Did you hear my burps?
Mm-hmm.
Just so everyone knows, I'm unable to burp in life.
Would you rather live without the internet or without bathing?
Bathing?
Mm-hmm. You'd rather live without bathing? Or you were clarifying what I said?
Correct. My eyeballs are vibrating. I would rather live without the internet.
Me too.
Because I couldn't live with myself
Exactly.
if I didn't bathe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I couldn't be around myself, and I wouldn't want other people to be around me.
Yeah. And, you know, eventually other people could not stand to be around me. Which sounds kind of nice sometimes.
Yeah.
But in that scenario, wow, my tongue burns. I wonder why.
This is more effective.
It is.
But you're so brave. What's wrong?
What's wrong?
Try not to cry challenge. What did you... Did you just eat the little nugget? Oh no. I want it.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Jeez. This is so much more effective than regular milk. I still would like to know if this was more effective than almond milk. Ugh. That was not okay. But if this was to bomb, I would still be in so much pain. I would literally be not okay for a very long time. I'm okay now. Do you want to do more hot sauce?
Sure.
What would you do if you won the lottery?
I would furnish this place. Pay my debts. And I'd get you a car. Us, but I don't have a driver's license, so you. Or would we... Well, shit, if I won the lottery, Would you rather have a house than be here? Some more room.
That's a good question. Because room doesn't always matter to me.
A yard would be nice.
Yeah. I think like I have so much milk on me. um do you like that sauce?
Mm-hmm.
I told you.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
If you won the lottery.
If I would rather have this place or a house is your question.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, um, yes.
Me too. Long term, I would rather have a house. But I wouldn't really want to leave here after only a couple months. I think we should at least finish our lease here.
Yeah, let's think about that yet.
Hmm?
If I won the lottery, I would help my parents into a place where they can be without anyone else. And, like, none of us kids were allowed to fucking move back in with them. Like, I think that's super hella hacks. I feel super, guilty for that forever, and I always will. I feel like a lot of people that I know, like, aren't thankful enough, like, grateful enough to have parents that allow them to do that. And a lot of people that, like, are around our age, like, they don't often admit that shit is really important and rare. And a lot of people that aren't our age should be like thankful.
If we win the lottery, I'd like to buy the place from your parents.
Yeah. I would get a vehicle again. I would put a lot into savings. I would give you the snip snip. And I would also invest in getting you a scene for this. Snip snip. And I would invest some into savings and like a pole dancing class so that I can open a pole dancing studio. I would put a lot into doing ASMR videos in my free time. So I would do a lot of things, a lot of different things.
I'd like to get a place for my father.
Would you?
I would.
Yeah.
He and I might not be able to talk much, but I would like to be able to offer him a place where he could stay. Can't keep him out of jail. I can't keep him clean. But he's been homeless since he was 18. And he's 60 now. It's a really harsh, ironic thing that he's a carpenter who's been building homes for 40 years and he's homeless and has been the whole time.
Yeah.
I would like him to not be homeless when he dies.
Yeah. Me too. Let's win the lottery. I'm so crusty with milk. Bro.
I'm ready to call it a night, but
Yeah. How did you like it? What was your favorite sauce? Classico?
Original.
I think it's a mix-up between that one and the Los Calientes. That salsa is really good though.
Mm-hmm.
Super spicy. Well, it's not super spicy. But for some reason it's hotter than like the classic, the garlic classic, and the Los Calientes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was really strange to me, that just a little bit of Last Dab on its own.
Well, you had a lot more chicken.
Well, yeah, but
It's food.
had a lot more sauce too.
Yeah, but the what's it called?
Ratio.
I guess, yeah. But the surface area.
Hmm.
Anyway.
Shall I cap the Verde?
For now.